Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm reading for Taurus energy today and it's from kind of now going into August. So it may play out immediately, may play out kind of more towards the end of August. We'll kind of see. My eldest is in the room playing Sims behind me. So if you hear any background noise, that's what's going on. And yeah, let's jump into it. So this may resonate if you're Taurus sun sign, but remember we're not just one sign, we're kind of all 12 houses and all the planets rotate around those houses, so we're kind of every sign. But you may want to check out specific placements. So Aries, Venus, Mercury, they're always good ones, as is the moon sign, but you know what resonates with you and what doesn't, so use your judgment on that. So I'm going to say Taurus and I'm going to say the word you, but just know that it's a general reading, it's not a personal reading. So while I'm saying you, if something doesn't apply, just kind of leave it because it's just going to be for somebody else. It's just the way that I do my readings. So yeah. Okay, Taurus, you feel nostalgic, and the nostalgia seems to be associated with music. So you have that song Nightswimming by R.E.M. I don't know if that song itself means something to you or not, but what I was really picking up on is this sense of the way things used to be and they're not the same anymore. So you've got this kind of slowing down energy. So I don't know if some of you are just feeling, I mean, I don't know what age you are, but maybe it's this feeling of maturity or older and wiser. And again, it's kind of like wanting to go back to the fun times. So it could be something like meeting up with a group of friends. My cat wants to come in. Hold on. Yeah, my cat's here to cause trouble now. So yeah, this feeling of kind of like, you know, maybe you used to hang out with a group of people, you're not seeing them for a while, and then like you meet up and you're like, let's do the things we used to do, but then it's like it doesn't feel the same. So like it could be something like night swimming, right? It's like, I don't want to be seen naked. Which is funny because this card came out, it's not actually on the table, but it kind of like reminded me of that, like, I don't want you to see me naked. It's like hiding in the darkness, like trying not to be seen, keeping underwater. So maybe you've done something like that, but again, generally speaking, it's just this feeling of like, with the Ace of Wands coming out, it's kind of like the impulsivity, that kind of like, oh, let's just do that fun thing. With Temperance and the Four of Swords, it's this kind of like slowing down, and King of Pentacles, which is your card, right? I pulled the King of Pentacles out on purpose to channel your energy, but Temperance and Ace of Wands and Four of Swords kind of showed on their own. It's kind of like this, you've got this kind of older and wiser, like learning from experience thing going on, especially at the start of your reading here. Like the King of Pentacles, he's skilled up, right? He's learned a few things. He's been around the block. He kind of knows his stuff. So I'm saying he. Just remember that he, she, they. Take it as it resonates. Flip it and reverse it if you need to. So yeah, you've got this kind of like, this energy of like toe in the water. So the funny thing is I was actually smelling this smell. It's gone now. It was when I was channeling for you. And it smelled a little bit like, hang on. So yeah, it like I could smell this thing, and at first I was like, oh, it smells like smelly feet. You know, like, have you ever kind of like worn trainers in the rain, or you've gone through like a river in trainers, and then the way the trainers smell afterwards? So it's like smelly feet, but also stagnant water smell. So again, just it could be something like going to a place, perhaps where you used to go swimming, sort of like a reservoir or a lake or something, and it's not the same. It's like, it's a bit smelly, it's a bit kind of like, oh, I might get some kind of disease if I go in there. There is something about disease as well. With the Four of Swords, I had a little giggle there. You'll know why in a minute. It's not funny, but I don't know. So the Four of Swords, it talks about like a minor illness, you know, like a headache, something that's kind of like needs a bit of short-term recovery sometimes. It can just be overdoing it, you know, drinking too much, having a bad hangover the next day. It can also talk about kind of like, you know, your thoughts getting in your own head, kind of getting a bit stressed, but it's kind of like a short-term thing, this Four of Swords. It's just, you need a little bit of bed rest, you know, you need to sleep it off. Or maybe you just need like short-term medication or something like that. But, excuse me, with the Ace of Wands as well, the Ace of Wands can be phallic. So, your genitalia, guys. I'm getting this sense, again, it's not going to be for everybody, it could just be for one person. You don't have to tell me in the comments or anything like that. You know, we'll keep it a secret. It's something like, I've got this feeling of somebody they've got a bit of a rash and they're a little bit concerned because they're like, do I have an STI? But it turns out it's just because you went swimming in the stagnant water. It's like it's a rash, like because of the water was gross, kind of something like that. And maybe you do just need kind of like a little cream or something down there, which is such a weird message to come through, but it's coming through uh kind of quite strongly and insistently. So again, just get it checked out, mate. It's probably nothing to worry about. You just need some ointment or something, but maybe it's something prescribed. You need to go and see a professional. But yeah, you've got this feeling, and maybe it's a warning as well, like don't go in that water. Because it's like this person's just dipping the toe in, right? So it's like, oh, should I, shouldn't I? And with temperance, it's almost this weighing up or slowing down or thinking it through. Like it's like thinking before you take the leap of faith. And the funny thing is as well, I pulled these cards before I pulled the full reading, and it's kind of in the reading as well. So like I say, this feeling of like nostalgia, like especially to do with childhood. The funny thing is you've got as well on the underlying of this, the first two cards in the underlying were actually the Five of Water and the Child. So the child is talking about your childhood self, like your younger self. It could be that there's a child involved as well, so do take it as it resonates, but for me it's this memories of childhood. The Five of Water is almost coming through like the Six of Water, which again is like nostalgia for the past, but excuse you, nostalgia for the child. But it's the Five of Water, which is more like crying over spilt milk. Things didn't go well, things didn't go as expected, like kind of like crying over the past and kind of not quite seeing the good things that are waiting in the future. But again, it's got this very nostalgic about childhood feel to it, or nostalgic about a child. Funnily enough, under the Five of Water is the Page of Air, which is a card about kind of research, gathering information, which again you seem to be doing here in the reading. Taurus, stay with me, okay? Like, don't panic just because I've mentioned weird rashes, because your reading is so powerful and it ends so well. And I was like, oh my god. The funny thing is the Emperor tried to come back out, and the Emperor can be Aries Taurus. And I feel like you're almost kind of stepping up. If you've been in King of Pentacles energy, it's like you're kind of getting into this stepping up into your Emperor or Empress mode. So very, very cool. Emperor and Empress can both be Taurus. Ooh, Taurus. And you're like, I didn't set these cards up, guys. I can't wait to show you this entire reading. So like I say, music seems to be almost connected to this curse energy. The music card came off the table. It was the first card that came out, and when I reshuffled, so what I do is I've got so many different decks and I shuffle each one 3 times. The cards that come out I put all together and I reshuffle, and that's how I get the order of your reading. So this card was the first card to come out kind of when I was preparing for your reading. I wasn't even shuffling for your reading, and this card came out, and that R.E.M song was playing. So it's something about the nostalgia you feel when you hear certain songs, like and it's something to do with rose tinted glasses with the smoky mirror. It's like remembering the good times because the music evokes a certain memory or a certain song for you. But it's almost like you have this need to kind of like take off the rose tinted glasses about the past and see something really clearly and see the details of a situation. And it's almost like the music is it's preventing you from doing that, because the music card fell off the table, which tells me they don't want it in the reading, right? It's not part of your spread. So it's almost this message of turn the nostalgic music off, because it's keeping you trapped in this kind of like melancholy, like loss and longing for something in the past, which again, perhaps it's like a certain lover, like a childhood sweetheart, and it didn't work out, and you've got this kind of you keep listening to these songs that remind you of them, and then you sat in that kind of like melancholy state, and it's kind of like not doing you good, because it's like, well, that didn't work out for a reason, right? So you might be remembering that fun time that you jumped in the lake together naked, but are you remembering like all those fights that you had and how cruel you were to each other and what the reasons why it didn't work out, right? So it's this rose tinted, do you see what I'm saying? Maybe it's not going to be for everybody. And again, it doesn't have to be a particular like lover. It could be a family situation, a family member, a job that didn't work out, but it's like it didn't work out for a reason, because that's not where you were meant to end up. That's not where you were meant to go. If it's meant for you, it will come back around to you. But yeah, turn off the music or change the track. Could be a specific song that you keep hearing as well. It's like, why is this following me? But like I say, you've got this like, oh, this new beginning energy as well. Oh God, there's the deer again. This deer is making an appearance again. This emperor, it's like symbolic of father or symbolic of emperor. And it ends you reading kind of like, look here as well. Okay, don't want to do too many spoilers. I'm going to keep that out. New beginnings and protection. There could be something about, I don't know if any of you have been, this is sensitive, guys. It's not going to be for everybody. It is sensitive. And I'm really sorry because I know how hard this situation is. But some of the cards that are off the table are to do with pregnancy. I'll kind of show you. The moon can symbolize pregnancy, and you've got the moon, darkness and faith, right? So it's almost like trying for a baby or trying to birth something into the world, like and then you've also got truth with the void and peace. So it's like, for some of you, it could be, with it being void, it's like you know, the pregnancy test coming back saying no, it's the womb's empty, and coming to peace with the truth of that, right? Coming to terms with this truth kind of thing. And I'm not saying that it's never going to happen. It's just, like I say, I don't want to kind of spend too much time in that because it's difficult. But again, it could be tied to what could have been rather than what could be, which I think you need to, with that Five of Cups, it's like you need to shift your focus into not what you can't have and what was past, but what you can have in the future. So there's this change of mindset that needs to happen. Again, it could be symbolic of a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be pregnancy, but like I say, it's off the table, so it's not an option, right? Not an option right now. Okay, before we go into reading, I want to know who's around you. So talk in terms of like your guides. This could be an ancestor who's passed over, a particular deity that means something to you. It could be symbolic of, you know, it could kind of like look like somebody that you recognize, that you deal with on a daily basis in like the real world. And, you know, maybe spirit is working through that person. You know, they've been brought into your life, right place, right person, right time kind of thing. So whoever comes out, just see what it says to you. If it's a particular deity that you really resonate with, great. If it's somebody who you think, oh, that's not my religion, that's not my culture, don't worry too much about the personification. Think about what the card is saying, like the energy of the card, like the feelings and the situation of the card, rather than the deity involved. So just kind of, I don't want anyone to get too hung up on that. So who, and it's like I say, it's a general reading, so it's going to mean something different to everybody. Who is around Taurus this month? Who's helping Taurus out in August? Oh, be a little bit of a secret, a little bit of a, oh, we shouldn't talk about that. Okay, I'm going to have a look at that at the end of the reading. We'll have a little tiny peek, because it's this one here that's flipped, just so that you know that I'm not kind of like pulling any tricks. But it's this red card here, so we'll have a look at that at the end of the reading, because there's something a little bit secretive there. I'm not looking as well. I don't know what card it is. So we'll see at the end of the reading. In fact, actually, do you know what? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to kind of leave it in view, and then we'll kind of move it around as needs be, just so that you know I'm not like sneaking a look or anything. Well, I've had it off camera already, but I guarantee you I don't know what that is. I don't set up the cards. I don't know who I'm reading for, right? I've got no personal reason to make anything up here. I'm just reading what the cards say. So just, you're gonna have to have a little bit of faith in me with that. So what's the lesson? What is, oh, hello. I'm just going to take the top one. Look at all this red colour coming through for you. So I'm just going to take surrender now, but you've also got this and that and true. Okay, two people can have a difference of opinion. It's their truth, right? So something about, interesting actually, because you've got a lot of stuff about truth, trust in the magic, and time to let go. What did I tell you? Right, Groundhog Day. It's like you're reliving something again and again and again. But we're going to take Moth Spirit, surrender now. Yeah, so it's this release energy, this stop trying to control the situation and let the past slip away and embrace the new. You have got a little bit of crossover with Aries, so if you've got strong Aries in your chart, or you are, excuse me, dealing with an Aries, or you've got strong Aries, what was the other one that I was going to say? I don't know. If Aries means something to you, go and check out Aries' reading. I do find that it's this kind of cusp energy. A lot of their energy flows into your reading, your energy flows into theirs. So yeah, they have this kind of like slow down, like very similar message, like slow down and take a time out to connect with your guides. You seem to have a very, very similar message there. Okay. Okay, where do I start? I really want to move that. You're just going to have to trust me because that's going to get in the way if I leave it there. So, Taurus, your reading starts with, I want to say you, luminous warrior, and it's such a, your energy is beautiful this month. It's so like empowered through experience is the kind of headline that I would put on this reading. So the luminous warrior, he's luminous, right? He's glowing, he's golden. It's really talking to me about, if you know, I talk about it a lot in my readings, but this kind of like incorporating the shadow, doing shadow work. It's kind of comes from Carl Jung and his philosophy, and the idea that people aren't light or dark, they're light and dark, and they're supposed to be, and that darkness can rule us and keep us chained and small and broken, or we can rule our own darkness and make it glorious and golden. And it's kind of like the idea of kind of like through the darkness, like golden age poetry is born, that kind of concept of like you know, the best songs are written about painful experiences and it's cathartic. So that golden shadow energy, oh my goodness, I'm getting that. I was talking about in Aries' reading, I think I've got like a new guide, or sometimes I feel physical things, and there's this one that keeps coming in with like it's putting its hand on my back, like it's supportive, and I've got it again, it's my top left hand shoulder. So yeah, he's in alignment, right? So through his experiences, because he's the warrior energy, right? He's been through that 9 of Wands. So through your experiences, Taurus, you have come into this kind of like golden alignment, but with your mistakes, right? Owning your mistakes, learning through experience, and becoming this very knowledgeable, very experienced, very it's just going through like a wealth of knowledge, like a wise person because of your mistakes. And then that's followed by the time master as well. So it's coming through as you, right? You are the time master. You are the master of your own life, your own timeline, your own destiny. And all your experiences up until this point have brought you to this place of empowerment, basically, of the recognition, the truth of you are who you are because of the hard times. You are who you are because you survived. You are who you are because you learned from your mistakes. So it's like you're the time master now, which is so cool. So Libra and Pisces, in the last set of readings, we're having this encounter with the time master, and it's so funny because you're coming through as the time master. So it's reading's very, very, very empowered. So it's something to do with like recognizing your ability to control your own fate, to control your own destiny through the choices that you make. And again, it's coming through with owl as well, and the owl is really the symbol of like wisdom and knowledge and sacred knowledge, I'm hearing. And again, study, like it could be the mistakes that you've learned through the mistakes of others, through studying them. So yeah, really, really very, very cool card starting off the reading. You're starting off in a really, again, like earth, spirit and stability. It's very, very King of Pentacles. It's very like, it's kind of like I fought my way here to the Goblin City, right? I fought my way, because it's the warrior, I fought my way to getting this degree, earning this position, like making this money, creating this stable life for myself. So again, go back to Aries' reading and all this idea of like the stability, the tree. There was this King of Pentacles in Aries' reading, which could be you, right? So it's almost like maybe as a bit of a warning, Aries' reading was talking about the King of Pentacles as someone who was so like their energy was so infused with their environment. It's like the place had become a extension of them, and they had become inseparable from the place. So it could be that you've perhaps clinging on a little bit too tightly to what you've built so far. So take that if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Again, it's just for those who associate with that Aries energy. But there's something that you're not seeing clearly with this smoky mirror. Again, it's like the waters are muddy. There's something stagnant or rose tinted about the water, whatever that's symbolizing. Again, you've got that kind of like, because the Ace of Wands is like something new and exciting. So it's like you want to jump in. You want to jump into this, but you're being advised to be your energy, right? And to plan, to research, to check the facts, to check the schedule, to pack the packed lunch. It's like slow down and be you, right? Look at all the books, like trust your wisdom, trust your knowledge. Don't be like Aries and just jump into that water, because there's something wrong with the water. Water can symbolize emotions, right? And it could be that there's nothing wrong with the water, because you actually end up with this really beautiful kind of like marine life card. But like I said, there's something with it being the smoky mirror. It's like clouded, or maybe there's like oil on the surface, or like I said, like if you just jump in, because it's like you've been there so many times and you've always just jumped in, but there's something different this time. It's like it's contaminated or something like that. So again, water can talk about emotions. So it's like your emotions around this are contaminated. You're not seeing it clearly. And do you remember how I had that joy card? It's like your nostalgia about this is clouding your judgment in some sort of way. So you have this details card. It's like there's something here that you need to look at more closely, right? You need clarity, important notes. So it's like go back and check your notes, or go back over the details of this, read the books again. Like I said, I had this thing, you've got this kind of like library books energy, like a lot of books. And I was talking about in Aries' reading that I went to a new place in my meditation. I've got like familiar places that feel like they're attached to certain signs. And I found myself in this big library. It's almost like I was teleported there. I didn't actively imagine this library. It was almost like, how in a dream you don't really always have control over the dream. It was like that, but in meditation. It was like I was in this library and I was like, whose library is this? This is not one of my places. And I was a little bit scared, because I was like, who brought me to this library, right? Whose library is this? Maybe it was your library, Taurus, I don't know. But it was also talking to me about like the Akashic records. So I've been talking a little bit in Aries' reading about how perhaps somebody's doing like an ancestry thing, like the researching the ancestors, they're kind of like looking through all like old census reports and, birth certificates, marriage certificates, all that kind of stuff, like other things that could be available to you as well, like military records, work documents, if they were part of any kind of institution. So it's looking to me like perhaps actually going to, it could be an online library. I'm getting that feeling where I'm being patted on the back again. It could be an online library. There's a lot of online resources now, or it could be that you need to go to a physical library, and check their old books, check their records, it could be a church, right? Going to a church and checking their, the book that's signed. I don't know. Who's visited this place, checking the visitor book. And there's the compass that was missing from Aries' reading. So yeah, looking at researching, reading books. So like I was saying in Aries' reading, I had this thing about going through the library, and I was opening books and things were falling out. So I remember specifically a card coming out, and it was an invitation. It had invitation written on it. But it was making me think of how people use old shopping receipts or recipes or things that are lying around. So I could like use kind of like a tarot card to kind of like just slot in, like to save my place in a book, to save the bindings and to not crease the pages. So it was coming through this message of kind of like, if you're cleaning out somebody's house, maybe an ancestor who's passed on and you're cleaning out the house, don't just like grab a load of books and send them to charity. There might be stuff in the books that could be nostalgic or meaningful, or it could be you know, information there that you weren't aware of. So it's like, check the details. So I was saying to Aries, it's like you need to just like flick through the books and see if there's anything in them, or kind of like open them and kind of like give them a shake and see if anything falls out before you put them in the bag. So just again, side message there. But yeah, whatever it is, it's like you've got to do your research. You've got to look at the details of this. So if it's a memory, right, a nostalgic memory where you've got these rose-tinted glasses, it's like, no, you need to, you know, you need to see it with clarity. Aries also has something about kind of like, you know, somebody getting cataracts removed, and it's kind of something like that as well. It's like, no, you need to put your glasses on with whatever this is, metaphorically speaking. And then this leads to a realization. So again, it's almost like this, if Aries felt like this was very far away and there were obstacles to getting to this point, it's like you're right on the threshold of this thing that's about to be unlocked. You see as well, it actually looks like, I've not noticed that until now, it actually looks like the leaves of a book, which again, maybe it was for you and not Aries at all, because one of the books I opened and it had like the pages cut out, and it was like a necklace, but there was a key, like an old key, and I had this whole thing about like getting the key to unlock something. So like the keyhole in the book. But yeah, this realization that comes with attention to detail is where I want to say that Ace of Wands comes in. It's like this sudden, with this realization comes this sudden urge, this sudden motivation. So it says, when spring approaches, the flower fairies urge you to spring into action. If there's something you've been merely thinking about doing, they say get busy and do it. So like I say, if you've been kind of like, if you've had a very creative idea, it's like there's a lot of energy to the Ace of Wands. It's this real kind of like, oh, I've got this idea. It's a brilliant idea. I really want to get started on it. There's this motivation energy to it. Like, it's exciting. It's kind of like taking off the handbrake, right, and going forward. It's like this, the potential for speed. But with all this Temperance and King of Pentacles and Four of Swords energy, funnily enough, the Star, right, some kind of wish. It's like you need to heal before you do this, or you need to slow down and get the details right. So it could be like planning a holiday, but you just want to make sure, you know, you've double checked what time the flight is. You don't want any kind of hold-ups or delays. It could be something like that. But it's like the attention to detail pays off. Being in Pentacles energy, right, being an earth sign, earth spirit stability, pays off, because the slow and steady seems to be the right way to do it. So even though there's this kind of sudden urge to get up and get started, I want to say it could be because something's slotting into place for you. It's like the right piece of it, you get the right piece of information, you get the detail you've been looking for, right, and everything slots into place, and then you can kind of get up and get started. The cat's jumping around. It's like because of your foresight with Sybil, it's like because you took the time to meditate on this, you took the time to kind of like ask your guides to show you the signs. This kind of like High Priestess energy, this Sybil energy, is like it's a divinely guided idea. And it seems to be something about, it could be some kind of situation where you take the lead, or you maybe you're accepting some kind of leadership position in work, and you've got a lot of creative ideas about what you're going to do when you get into that position. Or it could be something like with surrender now as well. There could have been some reluctance to take this on, but it's like it's the right. What are you doing, Kat?
Yeah.
So it's like it could be, you know, you've got the detail you needed. You've got the, you know, the contract was on paper and you've read through the details and you're agreeing to them. There's this kind of like, with surrender, it's got this feeling of kind of like letting go of the resistance to whatever this is. It could also be this kind of like Nine of Pentacles or Queen of Pentacles energy, which again is so similar to yours. It's Capricorn energy, but, you know, counterpart to the King of Pentacles. It's this, leadership in your own life, sovereignty of your own life, right? Being the queen of your own destiny. Because like, guys, I'm not even joking, you've got sovereignty twice in this reading. So with staff as well, I was like, whoa. So yeah, it's like it could be like putting your team together, something about 51-41 as well. I don't know, like the numbers, and then 1 and 3. right? If it was 31, it'd be like a countdown. Something about those numbers. And then 12 as well. Oh, there's something with the numbers. 41, 14. Yeah, look at that as well, guys. There's something going on. There's something about the numbers. 12, 13, 14. Right? And this is like what I mean. It's like attention to the detail. I overlooked that until this point. But now I see it. I see the consecutive numbers. I see how these things are connected where I couldn't see how they were connected before. There's 14 there as well. 14, 12, 13, 14. 31. Another one, right? Yeah, look, guys. Oh my God, they're next to each other. Getting excited. Look, so they go like that, but they're next to each other. 51, 41, 31. 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so whatever that is, go back to the details. Go and look again. Could be like some kind of like secret code. Could be like, you know, the code for the safe was hidden in some kind of like number puzzle. I don't know. Okay, so I was really excited when I pulled these cards because it was like the staff card is kind of like, it is a symbol of leadership, right? With sovereignty, Queen of the Moon. But also like staff, like putting together a team, like getting your staff, right? Recruiting people. And then again, it's like this antlers, right? This little deer head kind of thing. So, and again, it's because of your foresight. It's like you foresaw this. You knew this was your destiny. You knew you were going to step into this role, or you knew you were going to step up and take command of your own life. Because Spirit had prepared you, your experience had prepared you. Perhaps you're very good with like time and organization. I mean, King of Pentacles tends to be because the King of Pentacles used to be the Knight of Pentacles, right? You work up to being the King of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is kind of like a stickler for details. Like, you know, they really pay attention to kind of like the fine print. So again, it could be that you're very good at being organized. Time management could be very good for you. You're very good at kind of making lists, organizing a team, keeping control of the money. The King of Pentacles tends to be the money guy. So it's something to do with your experience, because you used to be the Knight of Pentacles, you're now the King of Pentacles. You know, you made those mistakes, you've now learned from that, you've got a lot of wisdom. So of course you saw that you were going to step into this very capable, it's kind of Queen of Pentacles, like this very, very capable leadership role in your own life or in a situation. And then the staff with the spiral, it's so funny to me because you can see how the staff actually does spiral. So sometimes, I think this came out once before in a reading, and it was looking to me like drilling down, right? Almost like drilling for oil or drilling for resources. So I was a little bit confused about this. It's like, what are you drilling down here? It could be that you're actually putting something. My stepdad, yeah, my stepdad, he's recently put a flagpole in his garden, right? He had to dig a really deep hole and fill it with concrete and put this flagpole in. So it's almost like staking your claim, perhaps. But what you're drilling down to, it's like you're trying to reach something, right? I mean, it could be sacred geometry. I was wondering actually, when I shuffled kind of this deck, if you're going to get any of the guides that are associated with sacred geometry, if you understand what that is. You know, it's kind of like the mathematics of the universe. It's really interesting. It kind of, when you learn about it, it kind of blows your mind. But yeah, it's like drilling down. Maybe somebody works on like an oil rig or something like that. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like drilling down into the bottom of the ocean. But I want to say it's something to do with getting deeper into this, you know, because this smoky mirror, it was almost like the illusion was on the surface of the emotions. The oil was on the top of the water. So when you get some kind of tool or resource to drill down deeper, you find a huge amount of resource, right? This richness, marine life. It's like there's a lot here. And again, it could be information. There's a lot of information deep below the surface, and it could be some kind of emotional memory, or it could be something it's like a threshold for you where you weren't perceiving it clearly, but when you are able to, it's like scoop the pond scum off the surface and look down into the clear water and like really kind of like get down into it. It's like you're surrounded by this, it's coming through like richness of resources, right? This is a resource that you're mining for. So again, it could be, again, if this is some kind of emotional memory for you, like some kind of childhood memory, like you had rose tinted glasses about it, but when you take that nostalgia off, right? The protected, because sometimes what you can do when you're a child and you go through something that you don't understand properly, or you're not mature enough to kind of like fully understand that situation, or maybe even like parents or guardians protect you from knowing the details of a situation, you know, that kind of surface level understanding, we can tell ourselves stories about it, right? We have our own version of what that is, and sometimes that is rose tinted. So taking off those rose tinted glasses and perhaps understanding something or someone better, you know, the deep emotions connected to this, it's actually with that kind of like Carl Jung golden shadow energy, it's kind of like it's much richer, it's much more complicated, there's more details to it than that could actually be providing you a lot of emotional catharsis, because maybe you just understood it on a surface level and you were like, that's who that person was, that's what that situation was, that's what it means to me, when actually the complexity of all the emotions involved, it could be giving you this deeper understanding that's really beneficial for you, because this is also followed by wisdom, right? There's a richness to this wisdom. Maybe it's like reading someone's diary and getting to know them on a more personal level, you know? It's like you would never have read that diary while they were alive. It would have been an invasion of privacy. But, you know, reading their thoughts, reading their feelings, reading their experiences firsthand can actually can bring you closer to that person than you ever could be in life. Again, look, 32, 22. Could be something about dates, right? Like, again, like diary, dates, written notes. Again, it seems like this is some kind of miracle, right? Whatever this is for you, it feels like a miracle. Rainbow waterfall. Like, I had no idea that this person felt this way. I can't believe this truth. It feels so, because a miracle is like unbelievable, right? It's like impossible. It's like it feels impossible, but also good and healing with the rainbow and uplifting, and it's this outpouring of emotion. It's this real once the words start flowing, they don't stop, but it feels like a miracle, and it feels like it's healing some kind of curse, again, some kind of family curse. It could be something to do with do you know how, like, I mean, the world's a tricky place, right? Sometimes places and time can be very accepting of people who are perhaps members of the I'm going to say this wrong, and my eldest is going to shout at me, LGBTQIA plus.
That's right as far as I know it.
Okay, yay. Woohoo. There's a lot of, my brain is not very good with abbreviations. So yeah, like people who are gay or lesbian or, you know, non-binary, you know, different sexual orientation or sexual kind of like gender representation. So it could be something like maybe you have somebody who is an ancestor who lived in a time and place where it wasn't socially acceptable and they had to keep this to themselves, but it's in their diary, right? It's like, you know, you never knew this about them. You never knew that they had these feelings or that they had this pain or experience, and it's like through reading their diary, it's like, you know, it's almost like the curse is lifted. It's if you felt like you weren't accepted, you know, understanding that this person went through the same thing. Do you see what I mean? It's like the curse of not being able to speak, but then the miracle is healing. And also you've got other cards about healing, because you've got, like I've mentioned, the Four of Swords and the Star here in the underlying, both healing energies. So then, Taurus, what happens next? Like I've already mentioned, you've got this truth, right? Accepting some kind of truth. You've got a lot of stuff about swords and truth. Because then after the richness of whatever this resources that you've accessed, then you get the wisdom, and then you get sovereignty again, right? You've already seen it here, the sovereignty, doubling down on that now because you're seeing this truth clearly and you're standing in your truth and you're owning this truth, this wisdom, this knowledge, this information, really, really valuable to you, like accepting it and owning it, right? The Morrigan. And then your reading ends with power and Dia. Again, this idea of like the Patronus, this ancestor, this father figure, this powerful spiritual ally for you, helping you to stand in your power. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. So right, like I say, I just picked up new beginnings and protection. It's like they've got your back. You know, like I would say, I've got that new guide who keeps like patting me on the back. It's like they've got your back, right? As you step into this new beginning, as you step into your self-empowerment, whether that's you know, stepping up in taking some kind of leadership role, putting a team together, whether it's just feeling empowered in your own life. If you felt like you didn't have many options, or you were disempowered, or you were kind of stuck, because I am seeing as well that kind of Eight of Swords there, you know, this is really kind of seeing what you can do rather than seeing what you can't do. And yeah, really, really feeling very powerful. Something as well about, I mean, they're by the same creator, but I'm just noticing as well, she's got like red hair, like very red hair in both of these cards, and then like green hair here. So it could be something about, maybe there's somebody who dyes the hair, like lots of bright colours, or somebody who has like naturally very red hair. Kind of like more blonde on these. It's just interesting that both the sovereignty cards are kind of like that red hair. And then as well, like the eyes in these cards that are next to each other, like there's kind of like beautiful piercing blue eyes, like looking head on. It's kind of like if someone can't speak their truth, their eyes are telling you, right? It's in the eyes. It's funny I mentioned the eyes have it at some point. I can't remember if it's you or Aries. What that means, the eyes have it, is like everybody's in agreement. Like the people who have voted yes have the majority. The eyes have it, because you can say I. It's kind of like the information's in the eyes. Again, it could be talking about like DNA, ancestry, seeing things clearly, having clear vision of a situation. Because somebody could be having like say minor surgery, like laser eye surgery, something like that. Also down here you've also got the eyes of the eagle rising above the fray. Again, this thing about the eye, right? And the like look at like put on the get the rose tinted glasses off, take the sunglasses off and put the clear glasses on off, because it could be like even just cleaning, like cleaning the lenses or cleaning the lens of your camera or something like that. Like and then also again coming over from Aries's reading, should bring that one up as well. This idea of like the spirit of the place, like the ancient home, the ancestral home, like a place that's so old it's absorbed the personalities of the people who've lived in it over time. Something about, and power again. So you've got sovereignty twice and you've got power showing twice as well with that dragon energy. So very, very, very cool. And dragon energy talks to me about the shadow, the golden shadow. It's your shadow is basically, to me, it's the part of yourself that is protective, right? The part of yourself that almost like lower chakra energy. It's kind of it steps forward when it needs to protect you. Yeah, so it's quite powerful back there. Okay, let's get something from my pack, the Venus Queen. I always had a Garden of Venus, the Venus Queen, like Aphrodite, the ring. That is pretty sexy. So commitments, the Queen, kind of like Queen of, like Venus Queen is kind of like Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands combined, like a very loving Queen of the Moon, right? Very loving, very warm, very beautiful, very inspiring. Like you want to get close to this Queen. And then the ring as well, it's like commitments, like what has the Queen promised? What promises have been made to the Queen? What is the Queen committed to? Okay, let's find out what that hidden card is for you. Mary Magdalene, okay. Divine Feminine, I mean, Venus Queen, right? Divine Feminine, devotion, and sacred sexuality. I've had that Amaretto song stuck in my head. It kind of came out of nowhere. It's like Sweet Amaretto. Round and round she goes. Where her life ends up, nobody knows. I'll just watch the show. I don't know. Which deck's this? So yeah, sacred female sexuality, right? And who owns that? You know, if you are, you know, we own that. It's sovereign. It's a part of ourselves. It's ours to. It's our power to. And I say this no matter how you present, by the way. The divine feminine, the sacred feminine sexuality within is ours to. You know, our own is our own. It's sovereign. Nobody has the right to take that from us. As a symbol of the divine feminine rising in our modern times and the patron saint of penitent sinners, sex workers, sexual temptation, women and hairdressers, the jury is still very, yeah, huff and puff, like I've got my back up. The jury, and I'm also, having said that, I've got that support back on my back again. I've that hand on my back. The jury is still very much out on exactly who Mary Magdalene was in her human life. While most will agree she was a disciple of Jesus, many disagree about her background. Was she a prostitute filled with demons or a priestess of Isis? Was she simply a beloved apostle, or was she Jesus's lover, wife, and mother to his child? This mystery is part of the magic that she offers us. One thing is for certain, Mary Magdalene will be whoever she needs you to be. Embody and embrace your divine feminine power. Surrender to the mystery of the divine and the magic of life. Follow the wisdom of your own heart above all else. And like, you are a very, especially if you are Venus Taurus placement, or you know, I mean, Taurus is that kind of earthy sexuality, right? I was kind of talking about that in Aries' reading too. It's kind of the how things feel, luxury, how good things taste, right? It's all to do with that Venus in an earth sign energy. Libra's also ruled by Venus, but they're more of the mind, so intellectual pleasure. Okay, call on Mary Magdalene. Again, this is somebody that's helping you, right? Somebody that's a guide for you. It's just really similarity. I don't know, different colouring, but all of red, I think. Call on Mary Magdalene for assistance with hearing the voice of your own heart and soul, being of service to the divine, being of service to love, sharing your spiritual work with the world, and sexual relationships. And again, like Venus Queen, like Mary Magdalene is a Venus Queen. Let's be honest here. Like, I can't make that up, guys. Like, you saw those cards come out. You saw her peeking out. I showed you. And then Moth Spirit, surrender now. 39. Okay, like you stand in your power, sovereignty and power at the end of your reading. Taurus. Moth Spirit asks, what is guiding you right now? Are you in alignment with spirit, or pursuing something or someone with so much tenacity that it has become a compulsion or an addiction? Are you so intoxicated by a potential relationship or opportunity that you can't think straight? There's that, right? There's that rose-tinted confusion. Hard work and dedication are virtues, and love, of course, is a beautiful thing. However, when Moth Spirit appears, it's time to consider if you've gone over the edge in a relentless pursuit. Workaholism, overeating, Taurus. Again, that thing about physical pleasure, like food as pleasure. Just be careful about overeating. That's not to kind of like shame anyone. It's to say, are you making healthy choices? Are you treating your body with the respect it deserves, you know? And overeating is an abuse of your own mortal body. So just just rein it in a little bit, you know, make healthier choices, whatever you need to do, whatever's right for you and your body. Workaholism, overeating, perfectionism, or addiction to certainty or even to a person may be your current vice. The form of your addiction does not matter so much as an awareness of the consequences of remaining persistent when moderation is needed. I've got the hand on my back again. Let go of your excessive energy by channeling it in more than one direction. The fire burns hot, and you do not want to be engulfed by your passion to the exclusion of all the other pursuits that matter to you. Now is the time for surrender and radical acceptance so that your drive does not cause you to flee or to fight. Spirit wants you to release your need for certainty and control so that you can relax into a more balanced way of using your moth spirit energy. Banish the shoulds and musts so you can enjoy what is as you allow what might be. That's what I said, right? Banish, that's what I said, right? Don't stop and like going over the past and wishing for what wasn't. Like, start thinking about what could be, right? Exactly the same. Banish the shoulds and musts so that you can enjoy what is as you allow what for what might be. That's exactly what I said at the start of the reading. I love when it like confirms that for me. Right, Taurus. Oh, you've also got this song as well. It's one of my favourite songs. I love it so much. It's Finally Beautiful Stranger by Halsey. And it's your eyes, again talking about the eyes, your eyes so crisp, so green, sour apple baby, but you taste so sweet. You've got hips like Jagger and 2 left feet, and I wonder if you'd like to meet. Your voice is velvet through a telephone. You can come to mine, but both my roommates are home. I think I know a bar where we could leave us alone, and I wonder if you'd take it slow. Take it slow. Slow down, Taurus. Don't come on too strong. We're dancing in my living room, and up come my fists. I say I'm only playing, but the truth is this. The truth is this. Here's the truth, right? I've never seen a mouth that I would kill to kiss. And I'm terrified, but I can't resist. Again, there's that temptation, right? I can't resist. And I said, beautiful stranger, here you are in my arms. And I know that beautiful strangers only come along to do me wrong. And I hope, beautiful stranger, here you are in my arms. But I think it's finally safe for me to fall. Oh, it makes me cry. It's like somebody who's been hurt so much, right? And like, you know, how they've got the defenses up, you know, up come my fists, you know, it's like that. It's like somebody who's been so badly treated that they, you know, they've got this kind of like fight or flight response, don't they? You know, it's really hard for them to kind of like open up and let themselves love. So yeah, it's just really, really beautiful. I used to think that loving meant a painful chase, but you're right here now and I think you'll stay. Oh, it's so sweet. So let's just get you a song randomized on camera though. So take that if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Oh, like a drum, the Cat Empire. Makes me laugh when I seem to be getting a lot of cat Empire for Taurus, which is funny because I don't know, I associate the Cat Empire with a Taurus that I know, and it's weird to me because I don't like reading for people that I know. I prefer to not know who I'm talking about because readings can get so personal. So like that freaks me out when that happens. I know my way, know my star. Marina ma Allah. Can't say it. It's different language. No one fears who we are, always near, always far. I know my way, know my star. I know my way, know my star, right? You know your path. Ooh, Marina, my love, my heart is beating like a drum. I'll have to let you have a listen to that song because I can't speak Spanish. I think it's Spanish. So yeah, I'll let you check that one out for yourselves. The Cat Empire, your heart beats like a drum. So take care. I hope this reading was really, really helpful to you. And yeah, I think, you know, take off the rose tinted glasses, see things clearly for what they are, and I think you'll be fine. And don't be scared of embracing your sacred feminine energy, whatever that means to you. And yeah, just as a reminder, you've got sovereignty twice and power twice in your reading. Like, this is what you're on the way to, and that is pretty amazing if you ask me, Taurus. Take care. I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.